Hello, my friends. Good to see you this evening. I'm so glad you're here. It's not an exaggeration for me to say that if I could get around to every single person tonight and hug your neck, I would. I haven't really seen people in the last 4 weeks. Other than my family, I love them. They're kind of sick of me hanging on them, though. They every time they walk in the room, they get hugged. So I really miss everybody. I wish I could have got around the room. For those that don't know, I did have a pretty major back surgery July the 25th, and so I'm about 4 weeks in, and they told me 6 to 8 weeks to be doing a little bit better. You'll be feeling normal again, and I was like, no, I'll be the exception to the rule. I've got this, and man, I walked about 100 yards, and I'm spent. So I just starting physical therapy tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I do want to get stronger. I need to build up. Had something slip last Thursday that has kind of kept me down this week. So it's been a little bit of trial, but enough of that. I'm glad you're here, and for this reason tonight. And I'm so excited about the Bible Baptist Christian Academy 23-24 Academy year. And I just am so thankful for the trust that you're putting in our academy. I mean that. I don't count it as a small thing. I do not look at it and say, we can give whatever product, at least it's in a Christian atmosphere. We want this to be the very best product in the very best atmosphere. And as Pastor Lee will share with you little things that they've been talking about as a staff, and this being a place where young people want to come. And I want that. And sometimes they have to adjust to us, sometimes we have to adjust to them. And we should. And the Bible says to let your conversation always be filled with grace, and how to have mercy on others, and to not look on your own things, but on the other things of others, and having compassion, making a difference. There's hundreds of verses you can go to the Bible where it's not just you have to do what I say, and that's it. It's a two-way street. Every relationship is a two-way street, and God wants us all to be what we're supposed to be, not just as parents, but as children. And I'm excited you're the parents. I'm excited we have the opportunity as a Christian school to come alongside of you and help you in this endeavor of teaching your children with a Christian education while you are out working and sacrificing, and many of you volunteering and those kinds of things. And I just wanted to say hi to you tonight and to say thank you for being here this year. And I'm so excited what the Lord has in store for the coming school year for your young people. And we're going to start off with a word of prayer, and then I'm going to hand it over to Pastor Lear. And that's what I got tonight. So I said, I can do this or that. And I'm like, hey, you better count on me to say a few words and a prayer. That's what I got. And I'd just like to have a word of prayer with you this evening. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this time that we can gather together, put our minds together, communicate different expectations, different realities, maybe even questions answered of things that we don't understand. Lord, I just pray for Pastor Lear. I pray for him as the principal this year, as the Upper Learning Center supervisor with Miss Tanya. Lord, all the things that he'll be doing. I pray for those who are coming alongside. Lord, for all those that are in the lower grades. Lord, we just can't thank you enough for every person that's on this property every single day. Lord, thank you for our student body. Lord, just looking over the list of all the students this evening and the up-to-date list of how many students are coming this year. Lord, we can't thank you enough. And Lord, I pray for parents as the task of the daily grind of getting children to bed, getting children up, homework done, tests studied for, lunches packed, those kinds of things, Lord. It'll seem exciting. It'll become weary and dreary. And so, Lord, I just pray that you'll help us even now in our own minds to prepare ourselves, to fortify our thoughts, as within these four walls can be a safe place for these young people, an education in which the Bible is expressly taught. Because, Lord, if you look outside these four walls, our homes and our churches, we're not doing so good as a country. Lord, my heart breaks for our country today. No matter what our political leanings are, our heart is sad today for our country, for what is happening. for people who can't afford to live in their homes, to eat, to pay their bills. Lord, there's so much slander, there's so much other agenda that is happening with our young people and social media and in our schools. And so, Lord, I just want this to be a place where none of that is present, that the mind of Christ is here, the love of Christ is in this building, that protection is here, that people who truly care about young people and not their agenda, not what's going to happen, and all of the things that people discuss today. It's disgusting, Lord. It really is. It is disgusting to you. And as a matter of fact, in your word, you call it an abomination. So, Lord, is all around us are abominations. Lord, help us to stand in this moment. It might seem like a small thing, but Christian education can change this world. And so I pray that this kind of year that we're opening up now is a life-changing year for the young people, life-changing year for our parents, life-changing year for our staff, maybe this area that we live in, and maybe by the end of the year, our country, Lord. I would love that. I would love a great revival to sweep. So in these moments that we have these communications and these times of question answering, may you just be in every matter of this meeting. In your precious name, Lord Jesus, I pray. Amen. You can't tell I haven't preached in 4 weeks.
That's what you got. The down part to me doing this by myself means you get to hear me drone on for all of this, just me without any break. Actually, we got a couple of things in here to break it up, but thank you for opening up with a word of prayer. He has been struggling with that back, and it's good to see him at least out and about a little bit, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time. Quick staff introductions. You probably have met teachers, but just in case if you haven't, we will run through and zip them through. Our school secretary, church secretary, Miss Linda McKee back there, if you want to wave at everybody. Kindergarten teacher, Miss Carolyn Hederman. And, oh, nice. See, I let you get away with a hand wave. I'm not the mean one. Learning Center 1, which this year, Learning Center 1 is only first and second grade. Learning Center 1 will just be first and second grade. Supervisor, Miss Joy. Her helper, Miss Stephanie. Learning Center 2 with third through sixth grade and like 20-some students. Supervisor, Mrs. Hoffer. Good luck with that crew. Her helpers are Miss Autumn. Is she here? Yep, over there. I didn't see everybody on their way in. And then Miss Bev, did she sneak in? She is back there. And then upstairs we have Learning Centers 3 and 4, main supervisor, Miss Tanya. Her key helper most of the week, Miss Diane. And filling in where they can't, me. We also have helping with BJU, Sciences and Maths in the upper levels, as well as Speedy Reader in the lower levels. Talk about a spectrum. My wife, Miss Michelle, back there. Electives such as fine arts, which we'll talk about later, gym, things like that, Miss Rachel and Pastor Schwender. And life skills, Brother Trout. And chapels and whatever else I can throw his way since I'm in the Learning Center. I think, is that everybody? Oh, no. We are actually, and I'll talk about it later, but another helper when it comes to electives is going to be Miss Lori Criswell. You guys stand up now. Everybody else did. Did I miss anybody? Did I catch them all? I think Miss Patty Kunkel, I don't think, is here. She helps out with the kindergarten. I think that's what, yeah. Miss Carolyn is very grateful for. All right. I need some helpers to pass out, one per family, unless they really, really want another one. And then there's more in my coffee table if we need it. New copies of the handbook. This is basically what I sent out over the summer. Hopefully you've gotten the text. Hopefully everybody in here got the new text from the new texting system number. That was earlier this week. That was on Monday at 1:12 p.m., I believe, is when I sent that. If you did, actually, I think I sent one this morning too, didn't I? I sent one this morning for parent orientation. If you did not get that, we will talk to you here in a few minutes, get your numbers, make sure that you are in the system, because that is how we mainly communicate, when I make sure you get all the possible information in your hands that we can. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 4:12, and if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. It is our goal at Bible Baptist Christian Academy to be an extension of the home and the church to make a threefold cord. We want to all be on the same page. However, that doesn't mean that there won't be problems. We are an imperfect staff with imperfect students and, as much as I hate saying it, imperfect parents. We are going to have problems arise throughout the school year. I ask that you please, number one, give the staff the benefit of the doubt. Your student is going to give you a very skewed view of information. So give the staff the benefit of the doubt before you get too upset. But if there is something, if you feel that there is an issue, don't let it fester. It is important that we take care of it right away. One of the things that happen in a group this size, somebody's going to get upset. It's going to happen. I'm going to do something stupid. I will do 100 things stupid this school year. You will find cause to be upset with at least me. I don't know about the rest of them. Those ladies are pretty good. But you'll find a reason to be upset with at least me this school year. Don't let it fester. Don't hesitate. Get a hold of us. Let's work it out. I would rather hash it out and make sure things are right between us, because that continues to strengthen the cord to make sure your students are getting the best education. And that is what is important. That's what we're here for, is their spiritual and academic growth. And we want to see that happen, as well as social and sports and all that good stuff, but the main focus. So the big thing in the handbook, starting on page 3. Down at the bottom there is the school cell phone information. That school cell phone number is the most important contact phone number that you could possibly have. People try and call the church all the time, and we don't always have a secretary in place, which means the phones don't always get answered. That cell phone is always in somebody's hand during the school day, which means if you have an issue, if you need something, that phone number right there is the number to call or text. Texting is awesome. I love texting. If you need to pick up a kid, I'm going to pick them up instead of sending them on the bus. That's great. Shoot a text, but text that phone number right there. Supervisors, and even me, especially being in the Learning Center this year, we don't always have our phones on us. That phone is always on somebody. So if you need to get a hold of somebody, make sure you've got that number. I'm trying to leave that screen up there as long as I can. That pager number, that should be the number that you received a text from earlier today. That pager number is what we send out: newsletters, school cancellations, any major communication that we have goes through that system with that text number. If you have your phone set to block unknown numbers, make sure you put that number in there as a contact, so you receive those school texts. If you did not receive it, one of two things. One, it's blocked. Every family should have, either husband, wife, or both, should have received a text today. If somebody didn't, it's because I don't have your phone number, or it's probably blocked. So if you didn't get that text, get with me afterwards. We'll make sure I have your number, and then make sure it's not blocked on your phone. Any question? I don't want to bypass it. I cannot stress how important that school cell phone number is, because you're probably not getting somebody, half the week you're not getting somebody on the regular church phone number. This is the school phone number. All right, we'll move on then. Did everybody get those numbers? You're good? I can change the slide. Actually, I'll leave it up there for right now. Page 5, take-home notebooks. They were supposed to be here yesterday, and then they were supposed to be here today. Now they're supposed to be here Saturday. Apparently they're stuck in a hurricane somewhere. That's awesome. They are supposed to be here, though, so hopefully they get here by Tuesday and we can hand them out. But again, another key component of communication: all their homework, all their work during the day, it's all in this notebook. Any notes from the teacher come home in this notebook. Any notes that you have for the teacher that isn't maybe an emergency, you don't need to text or whatever, you just want to jot a little note, I'm going to pick them up at 2 o'clock for a doctor's appointment, that kind of thing, that all goes in that notebook. That is our communication back and forth. Every night you check that. Every morning when they come in, we check that notebook to see if you've written anything. So those are very important. Make sure, I should have got a picture of them, but school cancellation information also. We have been the past couple years sending out the text if we find out we're canceled, delayed, whatever. We go by Derry Area School District. So whatever Derry does, that's what we do. Bus companies, they do their own thing. The downside to public transportation busing is I have no control over it. I have bus companies that will go by our schedule. I have some bus companies that go by their school schedule. Hempfield, if we delay, they just don't send a bus. If we close, they don't send a bus. If they close, they don't send a bus. I'm surprised they send a bus at all ever, to be honest with you. They're just rough. But every bus company is different. So we will send out what we're doing, and if the bus messes your child up, that's on them. It's no punishment to the child. It's an excused absence. It's not unexcused. You don't have to worry about it when it comes to the buses messing it up. It is an excused absence. I have to say that because it happens so much. Visitors. On page 6, I don't know if you noticed it on the door. Did you notice the nice new doors? Oh, they actually lock, and they hold shut, and when you push, they work, and they close the whole way. Like things that you would expect a door to do, they actually do. Our doors are working, and so we have all the external doors during the school day are going to be locked. If you need to get in, if you need something and you're here, you need to drop something off, there is a doorbell on the door out there. I'm going to have a nice little sign. Is it up yet? There's going to be a nice little vinyl sign on the second door to point to that doorbell to make sure people know if the door is locked, press that doorbell. What's cool about that doorbell is it goes to that school cell phone that somebody always has on them at all times. So when you press that doorbell, somebody will get to you very quickly to let you in, to grab your student's lunch because they forgot it at home, whatever it happens to be. They never do that. So that is our new security system, making sure we have every door locked, and the only way in is through that doorbell. Transportation on that page. Another important thing, if you need to change, my student usually rides the bus and I need to pick them up, please let us know by 2 o'clock. Get a hold of that school cell phone by 2 o'clock because we have to communicate that to bus companies as well as make arrangements internally. So when people call it at 2:45 saying, I need my student to get off to not ride the bus, sometimes your student is already on the bus and it's starting to pull out and we're trying to run down, and sometimes we catch them, sometimes we don't. So please let us know by 2 o'clock if at all possible. Along those lines, with vehicles, students may not transport other students without written permission in advance from both students' parents, and that's daily. If somebody needs to drive your child home that is not you, you need to make sure that's in a note, and their parent needs to make sure that's in a note. We have to have permission from both sets of parents in order for that to happen. Medication, it's in the application, but all medication must be provided by you, the parent, in the original packaging or bottles with clear instructions. Don't send me a baggie of your kid's prescription pills. We cannot give that out. We have to have the original pills in the original bottle with the original written instructions. So please make sure we have that for those who are on medications. If you're sending in Tylenol or whatever, just make sure they're in the original bottle, please. Daily schedule. I'm trying to fly through this as fast. If you need something along the way, just pop your hand up. I'm just trying to crank through this as quickly as possible to get to the stuff that everybody's here for anyway, like dress code. Opening. We're doing something different with opening this year. We're only going to actually have opening 2 days a week as a whole school. The rest of the days, they're just going to do little things in their learning centers. This is to help. We were finding last year that mostly our older students were having struggles with the amount of time they had to get work done. So we're trying some creative ways this year to reduce extra time so they can focus on schoolwork time. Some of the things that we're doing with the BJU math and science with the older kids is to reduce group time so that they're not spending half an hour in a class and half an hour in a group and 15 minutes trying to study and do homework. Like, it was getting to take a very long time. So we're trying to reduce as much as we can along the way to help the students make the best use of their time here at school. When it comes to electives, sadly this year, all of our music teachers are unavailable, at least for the start of the year. So we do not have any music classes to start this year. It's popping in and out. But we do have some fine arts. And so I am going to have Miss Rachel, she's going to come up and explain. This is for Learning Centers 3 and 4. We are going to do a fine arts elective in the spring. This starts the second semester of school.
So in the past, we've done ACE convention. Some years and some years we don't. It depends on where it's located. But for the past last year we didn't do anything. We were planning on doing fine arts last year, but I decided to have major surgery, so then that didn't happen. So we're putting it in for this year. We're not going to do the convention this year. It's very, very, very expensive, and internationals is too far to drive to this year. And if we flew, it would just be astronomically expensive. But we don't want to go without fine arts, because I believe ACE convention, for those of you who have children who have participated in that before, it is a big bonus to our school. It's a big benefit. And so what we're going to do starting in the spring is we're going to do a fine arts night. And so it's going to be very similar to convention. We're going to prepare all the second half of the year for it, with music, with art, with academics, with speeches and plays and all kinds of stuff. We're going to get all kinds of stuff ready. And then everyone who participates to a certain level, they'll have to enter so many categories. But we're going to do a big trip at the end. For everyone who participates, this is 7th through 12th, in the fine arts program. The night of the competition, we're going to have a big night. They're all going to dress up. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres. It's going to be really great. And parents and grandparents and everyone, all the church family will come in and watch that. And they will actually participate and compete that evening. You'll get to watch everyone compete. We're going to bring in judges. They're going to give gold, silver, and bronze medals for the top 3. And for every medal they earn, they will get money towards that trip. So there's an incentive for them to work hard, to participate. There is a fun thing to do at the end. So we are really excited. Fine arts is important. I remember the first time that I ever spoke in public ever was preparing for something like a fine arts night. And it catapults people into things that they're not necessarily comfortable with. It pushes their boundaries a little bit and kind of shows what they can do. And so we're very excited about starting that. And that'll start in the spring, and then the trip will be towards the end of the school year.
For the trip, we are estimating probably roughly a $250 to $300 trip, and that'll be for everybody who is involved in that fine arts night. They get to participate in that trip. So if it's a $250 trip and they earn, $75 worth of medals on fine arts night, you would only be responsible for $175 for that trip. So really cool incentive for them to participate, to work hard. And we'll probably actually give a discount for just plain participation as well. So it'll be for participating and then also for placing. You'll get additional monies off that trip. We are looking also, just to throw it out there, something we're kicking around is the idea of taking some of our younger students, maybe 3rd through 6th grade, not this year, but in the future years, to what's called a junior convention, which is similar to the ACE convention, only it's geared towards younger kids, a lot more limited events, but still something for them to be able to participate in, to kind of start getting them prepared for things like the Fine Arts Night or convention. We also are going to be adding in, on top of the fine arts, as an elective for 3rd and 4th Learning Centers. Learning Center 4, we have 2 potential electives that I need you parents to be starting to talk to your kids about, so on Tuesday I can get final numbers. This is specifically for Learning Center 4, 10th through 12th grade. There's 2 electives. The first one is advanced computers. This is going to be probably photography, editing, and some other things, maybe some graphic design, things along those lines, for an advanced computer class. Again, Learning Center 4, 10th through 12th grades. Everybody who is going, all of our 10th through 12th graders who are going for an honors elective has to have this course. They need this course in order to complete state requirements for the computer elective. If there aren't that many outside of honors that want to do it, we'll add them in. But it's going to be open definitely to the honors. And then if I get a small number of interested parties, 10th through 12th grade, we can add them in. I just don't want to overwhelm the teacher the first year we're offering this elective. Same thing with American Sign Language. We are going to add American Sign Language as an elective this year, taught by Miss Lori Criswell, hence the reason she was standing up earlier. If you ever watch our church services, she's the one doing all that stuff online. I can't follow. I can't speak English properly, let alone trying to pick up another language. And I fidget too much to try and do sign language. I can't stand still or be still. But she is going to teach it, and we are very grateful for that. So again, those times for those are kind of in flux a little bit. We have the Wednesday at 1:45, but the American Sign Language we're not sure of. So just so you're aware, it is available, and again, that's going to be for 10th through 12th grade, just to keep the class a little bit smaller, and for those who really need the credits for graduation. Next, page 9. Dress code. So the first section, I'm just going to read it because it's better that way. We believe that the Bible outlines important principles relating to the dress and attitude of our young people. The philosophy for BBCA's dress code is to promote modesty and appropriateness based on Titus 2:1-8 and Philippians 4:5. Our policies have been designed as positive guidelines to enable our young men and ladies to honor the Lord in the way they dress while also being able to be comfortable in their academic environment. When choosing school clothing, please follow these guidelines. Please note that if there are violations to the dress code, parents will be called or a note sent home in the student's notebook. Obviously, if it's a really, really bad violation, we might need you to bring in some clothes. So all students should be modest. We define this as every person being covered no matter what they wear, skirt, dress, shorts, etc., from the neckline to the knees. This also means that clothes should be loose enough as to not show undergarments or draw attention to specific body parts. 90% of dress code is that right there. The rest of this kind of falls under that. If it's loose enough that I'm not seeing undergarments and covers the most important parts of the body, you're probably fine. We ask that all hair be natural in color, blonde to black. Students are not permitted to wear hats or hoods inside the buildings. Extreme hairstyles such as razor lines, shaving of the head, mohawks, etc. are not permitted. Jewelry with occult symbols, zodiac signs not permitted. Permanent markings are not allowed to be visible at any point in time. Shirts must have sleeves. A shirt or tank top must be worn under a button-down shirt. Yeah. Jackets, coats, and windbreakers don't have to be worn in the learning center. Appropriate sweatshirts, hoodies, and sweaters may be worn, but must have a shirt with sleeves, one underneath. No tank tops, shirt with sleeves. If they're going to wear a hoodie, it's got to be a shirt that if they take the hoodie off, they're still in dress code. So it needs to be a shirt with sleeves. We had a lot of people try to wear tank tops, and then they'd unzip their hoodie way down, and what's the sense in wearing the tank top then? Shirts, what's that? The hoodie. Yeah. The hoodie zip way down. Yeah. Not too many people zip tank tops. Pants, jeans, and shorts must have no cuts, shreds, patches, or artwork. All right, so here we go. The soles and heels of shoes should be no more than 2 inches thick. Flip-flops, Crocs, and slides are not to be worn to school. All shoes must have a back or strap on them. The exception to this rule is we will let students wear Crocs if they're in sports mode. It's got to have the strap around the back. That is a safety reason more than anything. We have a lot of steps. The surfaces, every floor is uneven. If you walk anywhere from here to there, you're going to feel uneven spots on the floor. It is of just safety reasons, please. They need to be latched in sport mode. PE uniforms will be knee-length basketball shorts and a t-shirt. Gym socks and non-marking tennis shoes are required for PE class. I'm going to let Miss Rachel do the girl stuff. And the boys is nice and easy while on her way up. Hair must be off the ears, eyebrows, and shirt collar. That is different from years past. Ears, eyebrows, and shirt collar, those are the 3 main categories. Sideburns should be no longer than the middle of the ear. Students capable of facial hair, like I should have done today, should be shaven. If a boy needs a haircut, you'll be notified. And they're not permitted to have any piercings. But body jewelry should be minimal and not distracting. Necklaces must be worn under shirts. Years past, I don't care if guys wear a necklace. There's a lot of guys that wear, a little chain with a cross on it, whatever. I don't have anything against it, but it can't. The key is it cannot become a distraction. That's why we put that in there. If they're wearing something that becomes a distraction, it's going to go. That goes for girls too, by the way. If it becomes a distraction, it's going to go.
All right. We'll just go over girls, and then you can ask questions if you have them. Facial makeup must be natural. Nail polish, nothing gothic. All piercings other than ears must contain spacers. We took out like the number of earrings, just as we said, just don't be a distraction. It's not a huge deal, just like, I mean, if they're hanging down and getting caught in their pencil, might be an issue. So let's not do that. No leggings, jeggings, spandex, biker shorts, or skinny pants. All girls who choose to wear pants or shorts. So we're adding, if you didn't know, there's not just casual Friday this year. It's casual every day if you want. So if they can wear jeans every day, they just can't have holes and rips and that kind of thing in them. They have to be regular, but the shirts with pants and shorts just cover the rear end. If they're in skirts or basketball shorts, they don't have to have the longer top, but as long as they're, yeah, I mean, we don't want spandex there either, but. So that's just the thing. So it's pretty much casual day, just like they would dress on Friday, but they can dress like that any day. So if they want to wear, like the longer jean shorts still have to go to the knee. That's the thing. Neck to knee is always, no matter what they're wearing, they need to be covered there. But like if they're wearing, a pair of jean shorts, just a longer top. With basketball shorts, we know those are loose, so we're not worrying about them. And then skirts and dresses must be worn modest in style. Wrap skirts not permitted. All slits should not come above the knee. Is there any questions? Yes.
I have a question. For the little girls, it's hard to find like pants that aren't like legging material. Like, is it a little bit more? I don't know.
For elementary, it's a tiny bit looser, but do your best. I mean, because it's gonna. Upper Learning Center, definitely not. But little ones, I understand that they just don't make loose pants. So. Yeah, that's fine.
If they fall down, at least they're covered.
Huh? Yeah, knee-length dresses still, but yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, but elementary, we do give some leeway there because I know that they don't make tiny clothes loose usually. So, but as they get older, we definitely need to work on that because it will be the rule eventually for the older kids. Any other questions about that? Is it clear as mud?
You all let her off way too easy. Again, don't let it be distracting. That's the big thing. Let's see. Okay, that's not that we after. Merits and demerits. I just wanted to point out we're trying to find more ways to incent students with merits. One of the things we're adding this year, we're doing some cool in-school competitions. We're developing some academic, athletic, some different styles of competition that'll happen within the school with different teams. We're going to give out merits for game participation, things like that. Page 13, the academic information. For under honor rolls, I do need to make one change there. The grades 1 through 3 should be 1 and 2 because it's going to be for Learning Center 1. And then grades 3 through 8, and then grades 9 through 12. What this is we split honor roll into 2 different honor rolls. Some students aren't meant to be on track for an honors diploma, even at a young age, and that's okay. Every student is different. Some have different abilities. The system was built that, if you look at the system, it is built that every student is on track for an honors diploma from day one. That's not the case. That's not reasonable to think that every student is going to be on track for an honors diploma. So we have kind of tilted this a little bit. Learning Center 1, or grades 1 and 2, because of the extra help they get, we feel that it is very feasible to do the 12 paces a year and actually to score 93 or higher. Most of grades 1 and 2 will fall into that category anyway. Starting in grade 3, we started reducing the number of paces needed to finish to get the principal honor roll. The pace average stays the same for those. And then grades 9 through 12, will go by the graduation projection. Every 9th through 12th grader, by the time they come the first day of school, has a graduation projection. And on that graduation projection, it has how many paces they need to accomplish in order to graduate. The simple math is, if they need 200 paces to graduate, we divide that by 4 if they're in 9th grade and say they need to do 50 paces this year. If they are on track to do 50 paces and they complete 50 paces this year, they get honor roll. If they don't get 50 paces, they don't get honor roll. So it's based on their individual graduation projection. This makes the entire package of curriculum individualized so that we can gear it towards your student and wherever they're at. With that change, we had to change the privilege levels then. One of the things that we talked about was some students just aren't academics, and that's okay, but they are very athletic. So we removed most of the academic requirements for A privilege, which is athletic status, to be able to compete in events for our 5th through 12th graders. No more than 60 minutes of detention and having memorized previous scriptures. 60 minutes of detention gives you some leeway to be a little bit behind in academics because you just can't keep up, but not enough that you're so far behind that it makes teacher's life and your life at home miserable. So that is A privilege. C privilege is just on track. Whatever grade level you're on track towards the principal's honor roll. And then E privilege is on track towards pastor's honor roll, which would be for the honors, on track for an honors diploma. So those are kind of the changes that we made on the privilege levels. Any questions on honor roll or privilege? Everybody's ready to go home. Supply list is meant to be general in nature. The rest of the appendix you've already gone through basically at this point, so that's it for those. School calendar. I need my helpers for passing out again. Wow, that is like sticky. This is an updated school calendar. You will notice a couple changes on there. We took away one Act 80 day on a Friday in September and added 2 Act 80 days on a Monday and Tuesday in September. That is because our church is doing an event, and both Brother Trout and myself and Pastor, and Rachel and my wife and Miss Autumn, and Miss Diane, half of our staff is not going to be here those 2 days. So it would not be good to send kids because half of them would be unsupervised at that rate. So there are a couple changes there. But you can also get to our website. Finally got it fixed, BBCA, latrobe.com. You can find our calendar on there, updated electronic calendar. If you're on your computer at home, you can subscribe to the RSS feed in Microsoft Outlook, and it pops all your events right into your Outlook calendar. It's really cool. I can't figure it out on a cell phone. It might do it, it might not, I don't know. But it does it for Outlook at least. I did get that far. But it is on the website. All of our games that we have scheduled so far are on the website. So there is a lot of information there. That is updated as things change. That website gets updated. It updates automatically online, so you can see it at any point in time. BJU Math and Science, I alluded to this earlier, trying to free up some time here with those students. I mean, there's give or take 20 classes, 20 courses that are going to be happening with Bob Jones Math and Sciences. How we're going to do them this year. Every student is going to do the process of watching the video on their Chromebook, and they will trying to do the homework on their own. This doesn't apply to everybody in Learning Centers 3 and 4, by the way. This is just a handful of students, but those who end up doing it will understand when they bring the laptops home. They watch the video on the laptop, they do their homework on the laptop, their textbook is on the laptop, it's all nice and self-contained. They will do a couple days a week, they will go with a teacher to the library, to nursery, we're not sure where yet, but some open space. They will go to a teacher to do group study and take tests. And that also gives them an opportunity in group to ask questions. But they are more than welcome. There will be scheduled time every day for them to ask teachers questions just like they do with all the other curriculum. They can raise their flag, say, I need help with science. Miss Michelle, come along and help with science because she's the science person, not me. Giving me math all day long. I'm fine with math. I hate science. So that's her. I'll handle most of the math. But they individually ask questions, and then they'll go to group time with a supervisor. What was happening last year, 2 things were happening with group time. It became a distraction to them because they would get off topic, and it became a distraction to everybody else. And it became a distraction to teachers trying to figure out where everybody was at. So this eliminates all of the distraction, kind of keeping it all uniform and hopefully getting them through it much quicker, which is the goal. Rather than taking an hour and 15 minutes a day in science, we're trying to shrink it down to 35 minutes if possible. So BJU Math and Science. If you have questions about that, you can see me afterwards about that because that doesn't affect too many people here. Speedy Reader. My wife is doing Speedy Reader again this year. Wednesday? I think they were still kind of discussing it, trying to figure it out. 2 days she'll be working with students with Speedy Reader. If your student is in Speedy Reader, she will be sending home a nice little notebook with all the instructions, her phone number that you can contact her. Listen, a lot of parents don't understand why we do Speedy Reader. I can give you testimony after testimony after testimony of parents who have said, my student went from a fair reader to a great or excellent reader by going through this program. And that's the reason we do it. If you work the program with your student who is at younger grades, who need the extra reading help, if you work the program with your student, the way it's outlined, the way we have it set up, it will help them tremendously, not only with how they read, but how they comprehend what they read, which is so important moving forward in the rest of what they do in school. So please, if your student ends up in Speedy Reader, work with them, work with the curriculum. If you have older kids at home and you need them to help pitch ins, the older kids can listen to them read sentences. Just make sure they do it the right way to follow the program. It is that important. Readers are leaders, if you haven't heard me say that 8,000 times. Bus times and student pickups. Bus times, if you have not gotten your bus time yet, I think we still have 2 bus companies that haven't even released them to us yet. But if you've not gotten your bus time yet, see Mrs. McKee, and she will get you your bus time if she has it. Hopefully, we have most of them. And hopefully, they've actually, outside of Hempfield, they just decided this year they weren't going to contact anybody. But hopefully, you have been contacted. Nice. They just decided it wasn't worth it. What's that? If you've not heard anything, slip your hand up. Nice. That's a lot of them. That's Derry, Latrobe, Ligonier. Ligonier should have heard, right? Okay. All right. She's got them all now. She has the list. She will have it at the end. You can swing by and she can give you your time on your way out the door. Student pickup. This is very important. I need anybody who ever picks up a student for any reason whatsoever at the end of a school day. When you come to pull into the parking lot, if you see a bus sitting here, please, 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 I'm begging, go up to the gravel lot to come in. It gets so dangerous because sometimes there's kids coming in and out when buses are here. Sometimes they need early dismissal. Sometimes other things happen. I don't want to see somebody get hit. So, and I've got staff running in and out the buses trying to communicate with them, hey, that so-and-so's not riding, whatever. If you see a bus, even coming around that corner, you can see the buses sitting here. Come into the gravel parking lot and pull in. You can pull into the paved lot and park in a spot. But please come into the gravel lot and pull into a spot and wait for all the buses to be cleared before you pull around to pick up your student. If you're saying, I have to pick up my student at 2:45 for a doctor's appointment, please pick them up at 2:30 so that rush isn't there. Come a little bit early, pick them up so we can get them out before we're trying to work with the buses. It's so dangerous if we're not careful. So please help me with that. Gravel lot, pull into a spot. Once the buses are gone, swing back in, and we'll get the kids out as quick as we can. Football and volleyball practices. For those 5th through 12th graders who are playing football and volleyball, these will be starting next Thursday. We won't have practice Tuesday. Starting next Thursday, 3 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless there's games. 3 to 5, Tuesdays and Thursdays for football and volleyball practices. Volunteers needed. Pep Club and Concessions. I am hoping that amongst this group, massive group of adults, we have some people who would be interested in helping. Who is running Pep Club this year? Who did that fall on? Miss Autumn. Miss Autumn Trout is trying to figure out how to run Pep Club this year, and she could use a few volunteers. If you are able, please see her. We also need volunteers for concession stand. We don't have a ton of games, but it would be nice if the same people didn't have to sit in the concession stand every single game. We can give you half games. You can go in during the football, and somebody else can come in for volleyball. When it comes to basketball season, you do girls basketball, somebody else does guys. Like, we can split things up. The more volunteers we have, the easier it is to split up. So if you are able to volunteer for the concession stand for games, please get a hold of me, and I will give your information to my wife. She's going to organize that this year and make sure we have everybody kind of on there. But if you get to me, I can get her your information so that we can try and get if everybody takes a shift, it's so much easier. We will make sure she will train everybody that wants to do concessions. She'll walk you through everything that we do, how we do it, so that you don't have to stress over it when you get in there. We'll make sure that you're well taken care of. But please, volunteers needed, please. Another volunteer I need somebody to contact me at some point or another. And please don't feel bad if I don't pick you. If 12 people text me and say I can do it, I'm just going to pick one person. I'm not going to have 12 different people do it. But I need somebody to help me with field trips. This is something that I would normally do during the school year, but this year with being in the classroom, I'm going to have zero time for this. I need somebody to help organize field trips for the whole school, broken by Learning Center. Learning Center 1, 2, 3, and 4. So groups of about 20 to 25 students, each group, that can go to Winnie Palmer Nature Reserve, to, I don't know, whatever, field trips. We have bus drivers. I just need somebody to help me organize communication with wherever we're going, whatever the cost is going to be so I can pass it on, all that. If you're interested, I can give you all the detail in that, but I need somebody to help me with field trips this year. I get asked every year, is there something that we can buy for the school? Like, we'd like to pitch in because, you guys don't sacrifice enough, I'm sure, in paying tuition. So you ask, what can I give to the school? This Amazon list with a cool little dinosaur in the middle of it, I thought that was neat. This is our Amazon school supply list. You can also find it. It's Bible Baptist Church on Amazon. It's a supply list. This is a general list. Our teachers are going to start adding a little bit more to it as we get through the school year. It's got a lot of things that we burn up as a school. Toilet paper, paper towels, garbage bags, things that as the school is growing, we just go through a lot of. So these are a lot of Clorox wipes. We try and keep things wiped down. A lot of cool stuff there. Some cheaper stuff, some more expensive stuff. Anything you can do to help would be awesome. That is our supply list. I'm trying to give everybody who had their phones up a minute to find that. I can also send that in a newsletter later on. Or you can watch it on YouTube. Since we're live streaming this, you can always pull it up on the YouTube channel. But that is our Amazon supply list. I'm almost done, guys. This is so cool. We're going to have this less than an hour. This is really neat. This is something new we're doing this year. I have worked, and we are partnering with a company called RightNow Media. This company offers totally free for everybody here. This is a totally free product for you guys. This is really neat. I'll let the video, I have a little 1-minute video. I'll show you this video first, and then I'll come back and explain a little bit more.
Welcome to our study of the Gospel of John.
I have fallen in love with the work of Paul as I've studied the book of 1 Corinthians, and I believe you will too.
This is where Jesus taught in Capernaum, and you have to understand this scene.
The Lord is my shepherd. And over the next 6 weeks, we're going to look deeply into the 23rd Psalm.
RightNow Media. It's for groups. It's for personal devotion. It's for parents.
The bullseye of parenting is to raise children who become like Jesus.
It's for kids.
This is Phil. We're digging into the Bible, which, as we've mentioned, is more than just a book.
It's for tough times.
So when you recognize that you're trying to have a conversation with your spouse and they're not ready to talk, it's not helpful to keep pressing them.
It's for every phase of life.
If you've made mistakes with money, you know what that makes you? Over 12.
And now, it's yours. We've purchased a RightNow Media subscription for everyone in our school. So check your inbox for the digital invitation and download the app for instant access to thousands of biblically based videos. Get equipped. Get inspired.
So tomorrow, every email that I have on file, which is if you filled out the online application, you gave me your email. Every email that I have on file will get an email link to RightNow Media. This is also a QR code. Anybody has access to this. This is like Netflix for Christians. It's actually a really cool program. Now, do I agree with absolutely everything I find on there? Probably not. But that's like anything else. I don't agree with everything I find on Netflix either, but I still have Netflix and pay for that. This is free. This is absolutely free to our entire school. And I just think it's awesome. So there's all kinds of devotionals. There's parenting tips. There's marriage tips. It's book-by-book studies of the Bible. There is so much content here. It's thousands and thousands of videos at your fingertips. So I just think it's a really cool thing. You'll get the email if you filled out the application, if it was your email in the application. If not, you can use that QR code. Once you're in, you can actually share a video with somebody, and it'll log them in as our school. So you can share it with your spouse. You can share it with I think they make a requirement for the age of kids, whatever it is, 13, 14 years old and older, but you can share it with your kids. They can have access to these videos. So it's just really, I was blown away. I actually Pastor and I had looked at it as a church about a year ago, probably a year and a half ago, and the price was so ridiculous. Like, it was unbelievable to be able to offer it to a church. Somebody has underwritten the very small cost it is for our school, and it was very minimal. Somebody underwrote that so we can offer this to everybody for free. So just a very cool thing for you. The email will go out at noon tomorrow. I asked them to release it at noon tomorrow so I could talk to you guys and give you the heads up that email is coming. That way you can get signed in. But if you want to get a jump start on it, there you go. I'm trying to make sure everybody that had their phones out getting the QR code got it. Last thing, I need my helpers again. Actually, Pep Club. We'll do this one first. I talked about volunteers for Pep Club, but there's a sign up for it. And then the last two forms, I'll have you do it on your way out. I'm going to give them to Miss Tanya back there. One per family. We need every year we do this, a statement of faith acceptance. This is one per family. If you just stop on your way out, grab it, sign it, and give it to Miss Tanya so we have it. The other one you might want to take with you, I need one per student. Some of you, no big deal. Some of you have more than 2 or 3 kids in the school and might be a bigger deal. It might take you a little bit longer to fill out. If you could just get these to me by the first day of school, I would appreciate it. This is a release of liability. We started doing this a couple years ago with things like gym classes and that. This is a general blanket one that covers gym class, electives, sports. It covers everything. Sadly, in the day and age we live, our attorney said we have to have this in order to operate as a school. So we said, okay, we'll do that. So if you could grab one of these per student on your way out and one of the fancy ones per family and just sign that and give that. Brother Corey, could you just run these back to Miss Tanya for me? Thank you. On your way out. That is all I have. Does anybody have any questions? I got 12 questions. None of them are relevant. No questions? Yes?
You had mentioned medication needs to come in the original bottle, the original instructions. Just to reiterate, anything prescription, any procedures that we need to do, especially on a regular basis, we've absolutely got to have a doctor's order.
Yes, things like insulin, anything that's, we do need the doctor's order for that. We can't just take mom's word for a sliding scale for insulin, although we would love to. Legally, we cannot do that. We have to have the doctor's order for that. So please make sure we have all that information. She is a nurse. She makes sure it's all in order, and if she has issues, she'll be calling you. So please make sure we have all that. She's coming out to you. It's not me, it's her. It's always more threatening to send a woman after somebody. That's all I'm saying. Any other questions? Want to make sure we cover it all. Brother Trout, would you stand there nice and loud to dismiss us with a word of prayer?